to the Kent Lapp Podcast.
You were when Kryptonite came out. Kryptonite was Three Doors Down's first, at least big single, correct?
Yeah,
or first single period.
I think it was the first single period.
First single
that really.
I mean, it really
skyrocketed.
Yeah, I mean, for that to be like one of your first singles or your first single, and just to go. I mean, that is. Yeah, when you think about that, that's pretty exceptional.
Yeah.
And you were like a kid when that came out.
I think I was 14 or 15.
Did you listen to Three Doors Down in your teenage years or not so much?
Yeah, I always liked them.
Oh, yeah?
Like I have this weird memory of being in the front yard and hearing that song for the first time. And we had the radio on. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yep.
And like, they were cool. I always liked them. And then years later, like when my friend Darren started working for their management that ended up being our management, it was like kind of reintroduced to their stuff.
Okay.
And I was like, this is cool. It's great rock songs.
Yeah. When was Here Without Me? When did that come out? Do you remember?
Here Without You was like a couple years after Kryptonite, I believe. Because they had other singles in between there that all did well.
Okay.
And then Here Without You was like the next song that was like through the roof, and it's still a massive, massive song. Is
that like their biggest? You think that would be their most well-known song?
I think between that and Kryptonite, they're the two biggest, and I think now too, Here Without You still has the most streams on YouTube for video stuff. Like the video, I mean, it's like in the hundreds of millions of views, and it constantly goes up. I think that was a big one. I think too, it was after 2001, so we had a lot of people being deployed to Middle East after 9/11, and that song I think really struck a chord with the military, and that launched a lot of stuff. Big song after that for a lot of that reason too. But I mean, it was a cross genre hit at the time. Whenever you could be a rock band and have pop songs, so.
I mean, that song, I remember, that's just like a childhood. I remember like being upper teens and just listening to that song. I mean, that just, Here Without You, baby. Yeah. I mean, that song just like, man, when a song works, it just really works. Like, how do you even explain that? Like, there's a magic to it. And I mean, it's like all these notes already existed. All these words already existed. That space and time already existed, but you take these different things and you orchestrate them and put them together and mix them together with the music notes and the words and the timing at just the right, and you put it together and you package it, and then like that combination of words and notes and timing stays together for the rest of your life. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah. And Brad's always had a great talent at writing stuff that like people identify with, and it's nothing. He's not writing some like crazy allegorical thing. It's like he writes like stuff that people get immediately and latch onto, and it's like writing for the common man doesn't sound right, but
sure,
just like relatable. I think is stuff that,
right.
Like as soon as like whatever he's writing and putting out. As soon as you hear that chorus of those verses, people are like, "I get that. I identify with that."
Yes,
and that's a whole crazy talent in and of itself. There's a lot of people that can write poetry and different stuff that you're like, "What the hell are they talking about?" And it sounds cool. You're like, "What is this?"
Right.
And it's a whole other talent to be able to write something that people are like, "That's me. I'm living that. I get that." Like that's been a huge reason for the success of the bands. Like the music's cool and everything, and then like Brad writes stuff that people just get and love and latch onto, and it becomes like such a part of their lives. And a big one for that is Not My Time, which is another big song of theirs.
Not my time.
Yeah. And I can't even count how many people reach out or at shows or whatever, they're like, "This got me through my cancer treatments."
Wow.
And like the fact that like latches on to people there, it's like you can't specifically sit down and be like, I'm going to write a song that people who are going through a hard time are going to latch on to for the rest of their lives, and it's going to become an anthem. Like you write, and he has that talent that people were like, that's the song of my life.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It's
so powerful.
Yeah.
It's so powerful. C.S. Lewis said, for most people, not all, music is the thing known in the present life which most strongly suggests ecstasy and infinity. And I mean, he's got to be right, because I mean, it's definitely that way for me. Like, there's nothing that tops music's ability to like penetrate your soul, basically. I mean, it's like that for someone to be in cancer treatment and to hear this music, which, how do you even describe it? Like these tones and these words put together, but to hear this song be played and to like give that person hope. And yet it still works for millions of people who don't have cancer. Yeah. But it also works for that person who does, and they're going through a really hard time, and it's particularly meaningful for them. Like there's an intangible, almost spiritual, like there's something going on there, like the level of chemistry that how do you even begin to describe?
I don't think you can. Like I think you either get it or you don't. Like there's some people that like legitimately don't listen to music, and I don't know how they function, but there is a spiritual level to it that I think like it just speaks to that human collective, whatever that is, whatever that. I mean, every religion has some kind of music. There's a spiritual aspect to it that brings people together. That, like you said, it like penetrates your soul.
Yes,
and I think that goes across like anything. Some people love hardcore music or only listen to country or classical or like whatever it is. There's a place for it, and it speaks to you and it speaks to people, and that's
what's like whatever is different from us than animals, because we have obvious differences from animals. Like they're all about instinct and they just do their thing, and then they communicate too. But we wonder like, is there more to this life? I don't think animals really wonder that, No. So whatever those differences are between animals and humans, whatever that is, that's what music is speaking to. You know what I mean? It's got to be that. It's like at that level.
Yeah.